Hey, I'm live. Good morning, everybody. And if you're watching this as a rerun, tighten these up a little bit. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead here about 17 minutes. But just getting ready to go here for another Saturday morning. And the looks of it, it's a beautiful day out this morning. Beautiful, man. Waylon Turnus is alive today. Thanks for being always tuning in there, Waylon. I appreciate that, man. Ooh. Doesn't get any better tasting. 5 years now. Oof. You going to any? No, that tastes better, Jesse. You bow hunt, Waylon? Are you archery guy? Not sure if you're not. Morning, Mr. Bulgy. Thanks for the bear that flipped me off this morning. Good morning, Karen. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, she's a hard worker, Saturday morning person. You're like the staple of radio in Mobridge. But you have a bow though, I think, huh? Morning, Josh. Yeah. Opening archery yesterday. That makes a little bit more sense why there's so many people driving around and sitting in the middle of the roads now for both deer and antelope. South Dakota antelope's open, but the deer season archery doesn't start till Monday. You and Cash both good. Good deal. Yeah, I need to get a little bit more serious. The archery is a little bit tough because I'm not quite sure how a gratis tag works for archery. If you can only use it on your own property, or does pronghorn archery spread out through the whole unit? I think it's just on your own property, but I'm not positive on that. 4 fish in the well already? Is that your boat? That's not yours, is it? I can't tell. Morning, Dave. Hope all is well in the Minnesota side of things. I'm guessing that they're on a big uproar over there about guns now, as they always are, but yeah. Your boat is with Waylon. All right. I didn't know if they got it fixed in time. I don't know how fast they can fix boats. I have no idea. So, yeah. All right. Well, I don't know what time it is. 52. I'm going to attempt to start hauling hay today. Hopefully the road crew, they're putting a new lift of gravel on the 4-mile driveway coming in here, and we'll see how that works out there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't know. Took it to Johnson's. I had to pay him to take it. Our governor is planning a special session to talk about gun control. Yeah. Maybe they should talk about mental health. Do I dare dig into that today? Is it too soon? My show does not extend into the listening area over there. However, maybe the people that are online, I don't know. I think it's a big mental health issue. If you feel that you have to grab a gun and shoot somebody, unless you're being shot at or whatever, unless it's not self-defense, I think it's a mental health issue. And dare I say that The transgender stuff is, I think, is a mental health issue as well. So now you know where I stand. Happy Labor Day weekend. Is it Labor Day weekend? It means I got to work harder. Damn it. Is it really? Oh, okay. And definitely a mental health issue and not a gun issue. Thank you, Josh. Thanks for being backing up there. Morning, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm not probably going to be the most well liked. I'm guessing the emails are going to be coming in as some people rewatch this whole thing. So, yay. Can't wait. Did anybody want to ban guns when Trump was shot? Yeah, no doubt. See how excited some of the anti-Trumpers were about that? They were jacked about that, weren't they? Yeah. It wasn't a gun's fault then. Oh, it'll be interesting. We'll see, though. We'll talk a little bit. Got a new gun shop in the Carson, North Dakota area that we're going to be talking to. So, finding dead deer again in Adams County, EHD again. You know, I was wondering when that was going to start again because, we've been fortunate with some rain, but now that it kind of stopped here, it's dry right now. And I'm wondering what the heck is going to go on there. And it's just been a good year for any of those midges to grow. Stale water, man. So, yeah, that's too bad. Too bad. We'll talk about that too. HD. What else is? Yeah, we'll cover a little bit of everything. I'm seeing a few deer. They're starting to bounce back out here a little bit, but not nearly what it used to be before EHD hit us over here. I mean, that wiped out so many. And then that tough winter where the mule deer got sick, and they say mule deer can't get EHD, but they sure look like crap after that EHD stuff. And the coyote population is absolutely outrageous right now. So between that and mountain lions and bears and we have everything going on right now here in Badlands. So yeah. All right, let's get some phone numbers here. I gotta get some phone calls here, get them in, get them loaded up, ready to go. That one is going to be loud in your ears. There.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Live on YouTube, so bite your tongue
All
there.
right.
Don't get me banned.
I haven't been banned from mine, but yeah, yours is a little different. So, you hear me all right? I got my earbuds in that you have a special name for.
Yep, I got you loud and
Okay.
clear here. Got you loud and clear. Good. I'm gonna give Jared a call here, so stand by. I'm gonna hook you up here. Lock you in.
Cat's going after my. Come here, you. Hey. You're going to get kicked out of here, buddy.
I wonder if I can do it at the same time. If I hang up, I've never tried this before at the same time. So, oh boy, it works. Look at there.
Awesome. Hey, it's always good when it works.
See how that works.
Hey, Scott.
Jared Fisher, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm well, Jared. I got Jamie Brecht from Guns on the 701 podcast on the other line, so he's going to be joining us today.
Perfect.
Can you hear him there, Jamie?
I can. Morning, Jared.
Good morning.
And we are live on YouTube right now, so just as a heads up.
Sounds good.
We got about 7 minutes or so here before we start up on our radio side, so just getting the audio all checked out and leveled out.
Very cool.
Well, this is the first time you did the three-way call on here, you said, huh, Scott?
No, I've done it before, but I usually do it a different way when I dial the other person. But with this system here, I'm just playing around with it a little bit.
Okay.
Not a virgin to the three-way.
You're worried about what I was going to say on YouTube?
Yeah.
I was just talking about three-way calling. It's just because of you
Oh.
guys. Your guys' minds are different, so.
Absolutely.
Oh, what a beauty morning. Holy moly.
Foggy here in Bismarck.
That's good.
It's here, but not that bad.
I got no fog.
So what is it? 3 months after the fog, you're supposed to get a rainstorm or snowstorm, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it worked last year.
Yeah, like 90 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I remember I called in and asked Szymanski about it, and he said it was not true. And almost to the day, I texted Todd and said, I'm not going to call in again, but he was wrong about this one.
Well, so hundreds of years of farmers and ranchers watching the weather and not having a meteorologist, I'm probably going to go with that over somebody else there. So.
What are your cattle predicting for the winter this year?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet.
No, well, I mean, some people say they got heavy fur on them or something, or the coyotes. You gotta
hold on,
Scott. You gotta drink enough Pendleton. You'll start talking to him.
Stations, Mark, 7:00, 7:05 or 8:05 on Mark. There you go. They can get their delay time. I haven't checked anything, Jamie. The cattle, I don't know. Until a guy shoots if guy gets like an antelope down or anything, when you open them up, that's usually a good indication what's happening. You get this early archery season. If they already start having a lot of fat on them, I mean, you're probably going to see something. But
okay, man, last year, the deer that I shot, that's usually what I believe too. But the deer that I shot last year was just full of globs and globs of fat, and it just thought, like, by looking at that, you would think that you were going to have a bad year, and we really didn't. It was a really nice winter, except for a couple weeks of really cold.
Yeah, that's true too. Ours didn't have that much fat in them over here, but then again, there's not much to eat over here.
What about the leftists in Fargo? They had a big winter, didn't they?
Not really.
No. Okay.
I mean, it was pretty open. There was some snow, but it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
That's where we moved from. We moved back out here from West Fargo.
Oh, well, West Fargo.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah.
No, it's not. That's where we moved.
Yeah. Good move. I like what you did there.
Coming home. Home. Yeah. Yeah. Well. So, since this show reaches quite a few areas in South Dakota too, I got 2 big stations down there. Jared will. I don't know if you can do cross-border type stuff, but we'll discuss it instead of just North Dakota, we'll Dakota territory.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I got it's too bad I live in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to find rings for that scope.
Yeah. It's a very interesting scope to begin with, especially the size of it and all that. Like there's other people that make them.
Yeah.
Make that size. It's kind of an oddball.
That's me.
What size is the tube?
I think that's a 1-inch, isn't it?
I have no idea. It's the new Burris Eliminator 6, Jamie, I bought.
Yeah, that's what you were saying the other night. I'm just curious why you can't find rings for it.
I think it's a 34, which is different.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I had a 30. I have a 30 millimeter, but I don't have anything bigger than that. Scott does, of course, but he's got better genetics.
That's right. That's right. I'm glad you understand that.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
How's your teeth working out for you anyway?
What's that?
How's your new teeth working out yet?
My new teeth? They're still in here.
I know when you first got him, you said you're hard to talk.
Yeah, it helped. The only problem I'm still having with the front teeth that have been repaired is I really have to be careful not to do a little whistle when I talk sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to that yet.
And my wife gets a little air. She's got a 4-unit upper bridge that she had done. She gets some air under. I can tell her once I look over there and she's sucking the air through it. And I'm like, why don't you go in and get that work done again? No, I'm good. Okay, it doesn't look like it because you're always doing something with it,
Yeah. Josh says that he has Vortex has 34 millimeter rings too.
There you go.
I'm gonna get some Vortex ones then. There you go.
I know when I was kind of reading up on them when I was trying to look into what I could get you or whatever, because Vortex has its own whole thing. I am a Vortex guy, and when it comes to being a dealer for them, they've got a whole laundry list of things that they want you to do, and they want you to buy so much product right away. That's almost, it's not impossible, but it makes it really hard to not be a big box store,
Right.
And I was looking into that, but a lot of guys put those Warren rings on them. Burris makes some for it, but they were impossible to find. None of my distributors had them. I kind of looked online to see if there was anybody that carried them, and I really,
Yeah, I couldn't find any Burris brand ones anywhere when I was searching the last couple of days either.
Well, you think Loophole would have some?
Yeah, you think?
Not sure. They're pretty specific to their scopes too. I'm not sure.
All right. Tim says the saying on fog is 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months, then rain or snow. Okay, I knew something with 390.
Yeah,
yep, thanks.
My mom was always 30, 60, 90 on that. She said either in 30 days, 60 or 90, but I don't know if that's true either.
Yeah, my grandma said that too.
All right, guys, I'm going to turn you down here. We're 30 seconds away to Showtime Stations. 30 seconds on mark. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Heard all across the Dakota Territory in great stations like KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY Mobridge, K-Fire 550 celebrating 100 years today in the radio business in Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB 910 in Minot, and, of course, the Western Edge, KLTC, and 106.9. Good to have you guys along here on the FM dial as well. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and we have a show today for you. It's opening. Yesterday was North Dakota's opening archery season for pronghorn and deer. South Dakota's already been open for archery on pronghorn for a while, but their deer season archery starts on Monday. So good luck to you if you're out there getting anything done with a stick and string. And we welcome a couple people. Well, we know Jamie Brecht here from Guns in the 701 here, or 701 Nation. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, guys.
And then we bring in Jared Fisher from Carson, North Dakota, home of Miss Rodeo USA. What was her name, Jared? Come on, this is a...
Oh, I don't remember. 1983, though, I believe is the year. I can't remember her name, though.
I think it was a Bunaguski.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even with that billboard that you drive by every day when you come in here, you think you would remember it after, being 32 years down here. I just can't remember it anymore. Bunaguski, you're right with the last name.
Yeah, I think I got that. I always forget the first name, but 1983. And then, we're just, I ask that every time to somebody that's from Carson area, and they say the same thing. I drive by it all the time and you forget to look at it. But yeah. Good morning, and Jared, you're from 701 Arms LLC, new gun shop, as you can say, in the Carson area in the southern part of North Dakota, helping everybody out here. And I bought a few guns from you here and a scope from you the other day, and I figured, you know what? Starting out a new gun shop, let's get you on the air and give you some publicity across the Dakota Territory. So tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
And Scott, I really appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate your business. I appreciate you having me on the show, and reaching all of your listeners out there. And, this kind of was a passion project. My wife and I have spent the last 10, 12 years living out in the eastern side of North Dakota. I've had some friends and stuff over the years and me and her have talked about starting this business even when we lived in the eastern side of North Dakota, getting into the firearms industry. A lot of it comes from passion. Guns are like chips, right? You can't have just one, right? And at one point you go, well, maybe I like this as a hobby, the point of finding. Maybe it's more of than the shooting, more than just the shooting and the hunting and all that and the reloading. Maybe you like finding the things that are out there, the hard to find guns, the ones that people really have been looking for a long time. And that's kind of what sparked the interest. On top of that, it was helping the community. There's plenty of FFLs around the area, but there's not a lot. There's a lot of guys who sell to their buddies and just a few people here or there. There's not a lot of shops per se, and we kind of want to create something that helps out organizations with their gun raffles and stuff. We've got a lot of great organizations down here in South Central and Southwestern North Dakota, and a lot of people in this area who look for firearms. We're not really a border town, but we're kind of on the border of North Dakota and South Dakota, and want to kind of service this area and just kind of create a little bit unique experience. We want people to have a very unique experience and very personalized shopping. We've kind of leaned into the special orders. For example, the scope that you got from us was very much a special order. You bought some of the stuff that we had on hand, but we're going to be serving this area. But on top of it, the big kind of part of our mission is to help out these organizations like Carson's Fire Department, their rural fire district, has been doing a raffle for many years where they raffle off a 4-wheeler and a mower, a John Deere mower. This year they brought up the idea of having some firearms being a part of it. So I believe we have 6 or 7 firearms that we were able to give them, and it just kind of adds a lot of value to it because there's gun guys. We got 2 gun guys here on the show, me, you, and JD. This is the thing is if your guys are like me, every time you see a raffle out there that's got a couple of guns on it, you're going to buy at least one ticket, right? And they've kind of proved that so far. So we want to help out with the raffles. We want to help people find the guns that they're looking for. And the biggest thing with us is I really do believe being on this end of it now, if you've been looking for a gun for a long time, something specific, and you're going, man, it might be just a little bit out of reach for my budget, talk to us because consistently compared to those big box stores, you know which ones I'm talking about out there, we have been consistently cheaper, at least by a little bit, than all the big box stores when people have been looking for guns. And we can kind of get the things. I don't know about you guys, but I'm into some odd stuff. And the older that I get, the more I'm into like these lever actions and double barrels that are a little bit hard to find. I'm turning into my dad, my grandpa, the older that I get. I want double barrels and lever actions and wheel guns. But for me, there's been guns that I've looked for my entire adult life that I wanted. And if I could have, if a shop would have just took the time because they weren't going to make a bunch of money on it anyways, because the profit margins weren't there, and they would have just ordered it, I could have had it many years ago. Yeah. It's just that the margins weren't there. So we want to be one of those shops that, it's a terrible business model. It's a terrible business model. We don't really care if we make a ton of money on you. We just want to make sure that if there's something that you're looking for, we want to be able to get it in your hands at a reasonable price. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you look at a gun raffle or fundraiser or anything, we do a lot of those in the Dakota Territory. I don't care where you're at, East Coast or East side of the state or West side.
Yep.
I think, what was it? One of the hockey teams on the eastern side of the state used to have one of the biggest gun raffles I think I've ever heard about.
Yeah, yep.
And I think it was like a hockey team or something. And everybody started worrying about, it's guns, in the school and all that, school fundraiser. But guns still make money. I don't care who you are or where you're at. We just got done with the Slope County Fair, and the fire department a couple weeks before that had a gun raffle, and they extended it into the fair. And it was just a huge success. I mean, it's a great way to do that. And getting good value and good prices, that's important for these nonprofit organizations to do that.
Yeah, and it's the thing about it is that you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, the West Fargo Stampede hockey raffle. Yeah, they do like a ton of guns every year, and then add it, they do even more. They do the boards, they do the cards. If you guys go to all these Pheasants Forever and Ducks Unlimited and all that, where they do all these games for the same thing. And I I always say I'm not a duck hunter, but man, I've donated a lot of money to Ducks Unlimited over the years at their banquets. But you go to those, and that's kind of where the difference. Where some of these guys around here, they don't go to that stuff. They don't know. They don't know some of the games and some of the things that they can do with some of these raffles, where it can be more at some of these events than just a raffle. At a big buck contest night, you can do more than just have that singular ticket raffle. There's more money that they can be able to make as a charitable organization or a nonprofit, or a fair board or a fire department, whatever it may be. And when we kind of saw, when we would go to these things out here, because we would come back and go to this, even I we were talking about before we went on air here about how my wife and I, living in West Fargo and stuff, we go to all the stuff back here. Part of the reason we moved back here is, one, this is God's country to begin with, but two, the small town community feel is just something that we missed. At the end of the day, you want to help out your community. And to us,
so Jared, I hate to interrupt here, but we're up against our first break, and you, as a radio guy, you know what I got to do here. We'll be back. More Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio coming up your way right after these messages on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
Join Pfeiffer's Auctioneers for any one of our farm retirement and heavy equipment auctions across the region, including the Wool Estate Equipment Auction in Castleton, North Dakota on September 18th, and the Rooster Ridge Equipment and Hunting Supplies Auction in Fort Ransom, North Dakota on September 25th. Pfeiffer's will also be hosting live online regional equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest. Consign your items today. For more information, contact a Pfeiffer's Auctioneer. Complete inventory, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest, all at Pfeiffer's.com.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30-plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals. Just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Hi, I'm Jack Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer's Auctioneers. Starting in September, Pfeiffer's will be offering over 20,000 acres of land at auction across North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. These offerings include 5 Red River Valley land auctions in Moorhead, Minnesota on September 22nd, over 1,500 acres in Morton and Emmons counties, North Dakota on September 23rd, and over 1,000 acres in Lemoore and Stutzman counties, North Dakota on October 13th. For full details, information, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to Pfeifers.com.
There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30-plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Thanks for tuning in on the YouTube channel as well. If you want to watch this as a rerun or get more information on this, you can find me at Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio on YouTube. And please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. It helps me get more subscribers. Then I can go out and do things out in the field a little bit too. Jamie Brecht with Guns in the 701 and 701 Nation. Then we also have 701 Arms. Jared Fisher here with us this morning as we talking about small town and small owners of gun shops. And, you know, before Jared and we were discussing some of the wildlife organizations, you know, my experience helping out quite a few of these and emceeing a lot of the banquets that I did and auctioning a lot of them. There are some of these have their own kind of, I don't know, it's not their own gun shop, but they have their own listings. Like you can pick out X amount. And some of these, they don't really go out to the local smaller gun shops and order a whole bunch. Some of these organizations have to use their internal side too. So not all of them are using them. So it's nice to have somebody like yourself to get out there and say, hey, you know, we can get them for a decent price. So it's good to hear about that too.
Yeah, and that was kind of our idea with it. And I wouldn't say that we helped them very much, but there was a guy in our neighborhood when we lived in West Fargo, a great guy, John or Family Enterprises. I'll give him a shout out in West Fargo. He was launching his FFL as kind of a home-based business as we are, but still making it kind of a front shop. You know what I mean? It's a shop, but it's still out of your house. When he was getting into it, there was some pushback with our neighbors. You know how Fargo is. They don't quite see things as eye to eye as we do out here in this part of the world. But
that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. I'm a nice person. I try to be a nice person, right? Yeah. So they went and we kind of helped out with our Facebook group and stuff and tried to get the vibes pushed a little bit more his way. And he actually teamed up with some of these organizations that do what you do. And at the end of the day, he still will do transfers and stuff for them just because they're not in town. That's kind of the big thing, in an area you're supposed to be there. There's rules and regulations that the ATF put in place for you as a FFL. And you're trying to follow those. I mean, it's just like any other gun shop, even though if you're a small one. I know you got a lot of listeners, Scott, across the Dakota Territory in both, North Dakota, Montana, and all that area in South Dakota. And in South Dakota, we're kind of in an area where South Dakota is right over the border from us, and we want to help those people out. And we know a lot of them come to Carson to do things, whether it be the fair, whether it be to be so the Farm Bureau stuff that's coming up. They're come to our neck of the woods. And we're able to sell them a long gun as long as they can legally own a long gun. Pistols are their own thing, but even if we can get it in cheaper, I was just talking to somebody the other day that we can actually get something in cheaper, and we can make them send it to their FFL, which is closer
Right.
to them, and they're still saving money at the end of the day. So we're willing to work with people over state lines and stuff if they're willing to work with us. Sometimes it's a little bit more work, but I don't know if you guys are like me, but I like to save a little money when I can. It makes you be able to spend a little bit more money and everything else. So the other thing that we do too is we're kind of all encompassing sporting goods. I know that we've got arms in our names, but we've got the rights, we're going to call it, I guess, in North Dakota, the 701 Arms, 701 Firearms, and 701 Sporting Goods. All three businesses we're kind of in the process of building out, but archery equipment as well. We do fishing stuff. We can get that in. Like I said, right now, a lot of it's special order, but it helps to ask. We'll just say that it doesn't hurt to ask what prices are on things. I like looking them up and finding specific things for people. So,
well, that's good because I need some new. I don't know if I want to go Sitka gear or what's that other one, Kuyu or whatever, and yeah. So let's get to a couple questions and texts here. So Gene Cox, he's the mayor of Mobridge, Jared.
Yep.
He says you should get some tables in Mobridge because they have the Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Gun Show September 13 and 14 on Main Street, Mobridge here at the Event Center. And I don't know if you've talked to him or if you're headed down that way or not, but that's a nice gun show that they put on down that way.
I am a big fan of the gun shows that our Dakota Territory and those people put on here. I think honestly they could put a few more on in our neck of the woods. Mobridge is near and dear to my heart. I've got a lot of family down there. We go fishing down there. And in fact, we're probably heading to Mobridge today to go fishing for the rest of the weekend. So,
we'll get in touch with the mayor.
Yep. We definitely will probably, be down that way. At the very least, I think, I don't know if we're going to be quite ready to be down there and be a part of their gun shows and stuff, that's coming up, but we will be down there, looking to purchase. That's the other thing. Yeah. We, as a new dealer, you're, building inventory and stuff. Also, the big thing is just to kind of see what's out there, but we do appraisals and we'll buy guns from people as well. Obviously, you guys go to auction sales, and Scott, we know your history with that. We probably aren't going to give you auction sale prices for guns, but we'll give you a fair market value for them for sure.
Gene also said when he heard you talking about, getting older and you're wanting to get into more levers guns and side, double barrels, he says, I'm on my way to Carson now. So I'm
a big fan, man.
Text message comes in, says I had a senior moment and let my concealed carry expire. Does that make it harder? No. Does that make it harder to purchase a firearm these days?
I mean, no, not really. In North Dakota, if I'm assuming they're from North Dakota or South Dakota. In North Dakota, the concealed and carry just depending on if the FFL, because we have the choice or not to run you through the NICS system. But if you can legally own a gun and you don't have anything really in your background, I mean, we're talking an extra couple minutes. You know, it takes me longer to type it than to get an answer back. So no, as long as you legally can own a gun, it makes the process a little easier. But I would say in the states that are around us, it's pretty easy to get your concealed and carry. Go and get it back, because it is, something good to have. It makes the process, I guess, a little more streamlined, especially with some of the not big box stores.
So Jared, I'm doing my class 1 test on the 7th because I let mine expire too once we got the permitless carry here in North Dakota. What's the difference between a class 1 and a class 2?
A class 1, when it comes to it, is covered by a few more states than a class 2. Okay. I always find it weird. I think they should be flipped. You know what I'm saying? Like class 1 should be the lower level, class 2 should be the higher level. But so I always get them a little bit confused. I myself, I only have a class 2 because even living on the eastern side of North Dakota, like I have been, I've, even with everything that's happened, I'm not, I know you guys like to get into politics. I'm not going to get too deep into them. But with everything that happens in Minnesota, I've never felt the need to really carry there in my mind, just because of their gun laws and the way that they see things. So I never felt the need to upgrade it to a class 1, but I believe Minnesota still recognizes a class 1 from North Dakota, but not a class 2. So there's a few states that accept it. Really, when it comes down to it, the difference between a class 1 and class 2, as far as the logistics of getting it, a class 2, you just take a licensing test for it with like an actual written test. and then pay your
Yep.
deal, your deal and take your pictures and all that. Where a class 2 involves an actual hands-on shooting test too. And maybe I'm just scared I'm not a good enough shot to go get my class 1. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's not that. If I can pass the class 1, come on now. I mean,
So what's the shooting test, Scott?
so the shooting test is you're about, what is it, 25 yards, and you have to shoot both right and left-handed. And there's
left-handed at 25 yards.
And
I
there's
might be in trouble.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Well, at least this is what this guy had us do. I'm not sure if that's for everybody, but and then you have to shoot in a certain amount of time, so many rounds. And then what he's also looking for is how you handle your firearm, how you load it, how how your grip is, and you have to have so many shots inside of that one target. It has to be inside of a certain diameter circle, and if not, if you're having some trouble, which some people. It was a cold day. I mean, it was really, really cold to sit and handle your firearm. So he worked with a few people and worked it out. But it's worth it. I'd rather do the shooting part of it. And I think, instead of just paying your money and doing this every 5 years, I wish they would have, you got to come back and shoot again. This makes you, because I don't do a lot of pistol work. So, it'd be nice to keep doing that more now. All right, but against our half-hour break, guys, we got some more questions coming in and some more. We'll get to them in the second half of the program. More Dakota Prairie Outdoors coming up your way. We got Jared Fisher and JD your way here, and they're fighting to have rights for the 701 name, I guess.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
Join Piper's Auctioneers for any one of our farm retirement and heavy equipment auctions across the region, including the Wool Estate Equipment Auction in Castleton, North Dakota on September 18th, and the Rooster Ridge Equipment and Hunting Supplies Auction in Fort Ransom, North Dakota on September 25th. Piper's will also be hosting live online regional equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest. Consign your items today. For more information, contact a Piper's Auctioneer. Complete inventory, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest, all at pifers.com.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30-plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals. Just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Hi, I'm Jack Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer's Auctioneers. Starting in September, Pfeiffer's will be offering over 20,000 acres of land at auction across North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. These offerings include 5 Red River Valley land auctions in Moorhead, Minnesota on September 22nd, over 1,500 acres in Morton and Emmons counties, North Dakota on September 23rd, and over 1,000 acres in Lemoore and Stutzman counties, North Dakota on October 13th. For full details, information, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to Pfeifers.com.
There's a reason you're seeing more Red Angus cattle in the country. Great mama cows, high weaning weights, and easy keepers. With a family that bases their entire operation on faith, honesty, and trust. You can see those values in their 30-plus years in the Red Angus breed. Schriefer Red Angus, the breed that generates a positive return on investment. SchrieferRedAngus.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Great music right there from Benny Paulson and Breaking It. And if you have ever been on the southwest corner of the state and seen billboards with him on there, and make sure you let him know. Check out his music. It's on Apple Play. You find it on Amazon and all the music store. Breaking 8 here is there. New songs getting released each and every day. Good stuff. Good people right there. 701 Nation and 701 Arms. Have you guys fought on who has the rights to that now?
Not
not
yet.
yet.
I like his color scheme as well.
I appreciate that. No, what's funny about this is how, like, we would have had our FFL probably about 6 months sooner if my wife and I could have settled on a name. And I had a buddy come to me and he goes, what about like 701 Arms? And I said, oh, that's definitely taken. I said, with the fact that there's the guns, I knew of you guys, Guns in the 701. I'm like, there's got to be a dealer out there that ran with that as well and did 701 Arms. And we were going through the state paperwork and all that. And I'm like, oh, no one's taken this yet. Like, went through the ATM, like, no one's got this name. I'm like, oh, okay. So we wouldn't hurry up and got all that. So no, I appreciate what Guns in the 701 has done over the last few years and stuff. They've obviously got their notoriety, a lot more notoriety than 701 Arms, but we're coming for you.
You guys, you could have did a 1306 Arms and just added 701 and 605 for both North and South Dakota.
That's a lot of math.
That's why I don't use MOA. I don't math.
Yeah. Math well. I got that Carson, North Dakota education.
Carson Chieftains, baby, back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that.
So Jamie, you live in the Bismarck area, but there's a lot of besides the big box stores, there's still a lot of small guys out there. It means a lot for some of us to be able to go to these small towns and still be able to have access to get these guns. Like we want to do business with people we know, right? And you do it on your show, I do it on my show, and you and I were talking about this last night about different sponsors and why we gravitate to the sponsors that we have, right? So my outdoor show, there's really no outdoorsy type of sponsors. I have different types of sponsors that they more the agricultural and hunting side kind of work together. But it means a lot to have these small FFL dealers, doesn't it?
Yeah, I always tell it does, and I always tell. I mean, not only does it means a lot, it's great for the community to have that in there. And somebody in Carson doesn't want to have to drive way up to Bismarck. I mean, some people don't think that's a long drive, but it is. It just takes time out of your day to do it. But yeah, it's nice having that there. And sometimes I guess I've never looked at Jared's prices, but sometimes if you got to pay a little more for something, do it because you're helping out your community and then a fellow community member. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know. I think, we got one of our sponsors is a small arms, a small dealer, a small town, and he gave me a good price on some stuff. So I don't, I love doing that. I love helping out the smaller businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot easier that way. And now we're going to get into a little bit here. I got a question for you, Jared. The day I showed up, I said, hey, have you heard the story on the news? It was the day that the Minneapolis, the guy went into or I can't say the guy went into the church. I don't know what it was. It went into the church and shot up. What happens as a FFL dealer? What happens when something like that happens somewhat close to the Dakota Territory? And do people start worrying about? I mean, you and I know it's not the guns, right? We know that.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
What happens? I mean, some people say it depends on who's in office, how good of a dealer can make more money with. There's a liberal administration in there compared to a conservative. What happens when you see these school shootings or church shootings or any of this stuff happen as an FFL dealer?
I mean, honestly, the first thing is you got to remember this is the business. This is a livelihood for a lot of people. Now, like I said, with us, this isn't probably, this isn't the only thing that my wife and I do for a living. But at the end of the day, from an FFL standpoint, I mean, a lot of these FFL people, there might be some quick money because there's people who are going to go out there and either want to defend themselves or buy things up because they think we're going to have another run on guns like we did over COVID. Where I've seen an uptick in orders since then, obviously, but I think what scares us the most is the gun laws.
Yep.
It doesn't matter red or blue who's in office. If someone gets affected, I'm a staunch believer in the Second Amendment right, but I do understand the fact of someone who has been affected by this wanting to change laws. I understand that if something scares you, if something happens bad to you, you want to fix it, right? And whether depending on however way you look at it or how you go about it, I get it. But there's a lot of dealers out there who might raise their prices a little bit. We've seen prices go up. Honestly, we're finally seeing.
Whoa. Just like that, Jamie, his phone dropped off here.
Got sniped.
Oh, yeah. Was it NSA? Shut him down.
I was going to add, when Biden got in there and he pretty much let the dog off the chain or with the ATF, FFL revoked licenses went up was it like 500%?
Yeah,
I think. I mean, because he was just shutting them down because somebody forgot to, I mean, it's a cliche, but cross the T and dot the I, but it was really what he was doing, right? And say what you want about Pam Blondie, other than she's hot. She has the ATF. The guys aren't going for the throat on FFL people anymore.
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't agree. She's not doing everything right, but in my mind, but it's 1,000% improvement of what we had.
Well, Jared's back with us here. Jared,
okay.
Did NSA cut you off? Did they find you?
Apparently, I was saying something that the government didn't like. No, what I was saying was prices. I mean, over COVID, had jacked up so bad, and after any incident, it seems like that's what happened. And that's not something that we're going to do. We're going to keep it in line with our dealers and stuff. And as far as distributors, we haven't seen anything come up, but there has been, on our distributors that I like to say we've got the same distributors as pretty much every other. I mean, like more than most because we, a lot of big box stores shop with one or two, where we've got multiple ones. We've got deals with brands, and I haven't seen anything really gone up. The only talk is some of these tariffs and stuff with prices going up there. But I guess at the end of the day, when it is a tragedy. We had children lose their lives. It's one of those things. It's like there's a right, I guess, to be scared. But you got to be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? So as a dealer, you get a little worried about what's to come with laws and stuff and all that, because again, at the end of the day, we've got to pay attention to whatever's put out there and got to do things legally, I guess, to keep our FFL and to deal with the ATF. But we just have to see in the coming days what happens, right?
I'm just curious.
So Walls are.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott.
No, you
okay,
go ahead.
Governor Walls already said so. Minnesota's got right? They got red flag laws. They got a waiting period of 5 days to buy a gun. And I can't remember a couple other ones. Well, he said now they got to get together and make more laws. So it's never enough. I mean, if anybody ever thinks that it's just one more law is going to satisfy, and murder's already illegal, right? And the guy did it. He didn't care. So another law is not going to stop another person from doing this. But Walz is going to get together. I don't care what he says about his pheasant hunting shotgun. The guy's an anti-gunner at his core. I'll promise you he is. He didn't even know how to load the dang thing. And they're going to try and pass some more laws. And then if that's not going to do it, and they're going to keep going, the ultimate goal of the leftists is all guns turned in and confiscated. Somebody would listen might be shaking your head. Go ahead and do that. You're wrong. I'm definitely right about this one. I will never give up on that. So yeah, here they come for him again, Minnesota.
I had seen this morning that Walz was talking about doing a special session to deal with their gun laws and stuff. And Minnesota is a harder state to get guns in. They've got permit to purchase, which is something that North Dakota doesn't have with their pistols and stuff. So I mean, they already have another layer of it. But at the end of the day, if someone has evil in their heart and they want to do something bad, I mean, look at the bombings and things, and I mean, or knife attacks, any of that. People are going to find a way to be evil. You know what I mean? It's a conversation that needs to be had. You know, you need to watch the people around you, right? This person had to have friends and family. You know, obviously, a lot of these times people always say, "Well, there were signs. This person had problems and they needed help and stuff. Well, why didn't you give them help, right?"
Yeah. So I got a story for you guys about Minnesota.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, in the I could say late 1900s and early 2000s, I was teaching martial arts in South Dakota, down in the Brookings area. And part of being a martial arts guy, you know, I had whether it was swords or anything, but I had a little Ford Ranger pickup. Okay, and I was old school, and I had a gun rack in the back. And I had a sword and I had a BB gun. And why I had a BB gun, I'm not sure. I think I came back from my mom's place back then, and she's like, "Hey, you take this away. You know, this is your stuff. Take it. You're old enough to have your own stuff, right?" So I think that's why it was in there. But I visited my wife, and she was living in Shakopee area, and I pulled up and I parked there.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I went in there, and she was finishing up her chiropractic side over there, and I went and visited her for a weekend, and I wasn't parked there for 10 minutes. I was in the place in the condo house that she was renting, and all of a sudden knock on the door, and there's 3 police officers, 3 cars, 3 police officers surrounding my little Ford Ranger. And it had South Dakota plates on it at the time, and they came out and they're like, "Yeah, one of the neighbors called in a terrorist attack, or there's somebody with the gun." And I mean, so here, this is the fun part about it is, so I had guns in there too, you know, so I was legal except for the BB gun. Like first off, the sword, they said you can't have that in a gun rack. You can't have the BB gun, has to have a trigger guard on it, even though it's a BB gun.
My God.
And then the pistols I had and everything were in cases, but it was illegal because they didn't have a lock on them. And so I was like, holy cow. And that was in the late 1900s, right? So when you're looking at different laws by crossing the border just to visit your wife, they took me down. I mean, it was they had everything laid out on the hood and the back of the pickup, and the whole neighborhood.
Scott.
Oh man, the whole neighborhood, and it was a fancy neighborhood, and everybody's thinking, and my wife was just shaking her head like, "Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to be looked at the guy that's married to the terrorist." So
unreal.
And you know, that's the thing. That's the thing with these states. You know, every state's a little different. Yeah. You know, even North Dakota, South Dakota, like being in these border towns. The biggest thing that we're kind of I've always been about. You got to make sure to know your laws too. Because you do. I know I've got a lot of friends that ran into that same issue, you know, that lived in Fargo and went over to Minnesota and got pulled over. Next thing you know, oh, you don't have a lock on this. Oh, you don't have the slide off of this gun because you can't legally own it here or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules. So if you're traveling, especially the Minnesota area, holy moly, or California, I think too, the same way. Yeah.
they should just ask Walls, what law do you think would have prevented this from happening in Minnesota? Because you know what they're going to say right away, right? Assault weapons ban law. There were 2 people died, and how many were shot? There's been shootings, definitely, with more casualties than that. I mean, I brought one up on the live stream Wednesday. I won't do it again, but yeah, with a pump shotgun and a revolver in Texas, 10 killed and another, I don't remember, 10, 12 wounded. So what do we do then? We ban shotguns and revolvers because no law you make. I just want somebody to ask the guy that so he has to answer it, because his answers are usually stupid. And it'd make him look even dumber than he already seems to most people. So go ahead and ask him that.
They always have an answer to it, Jamie. They're already prepared for that, you know. But you know, the bottom line is, you know, there's good guys and bad guys, and by golly, you know, the bad guys are going to continue doing bad stuff no matter what happens. So, but it's archery season, and I don't know, Jamie, are you still doing archery or?
I am. I actually, when I get up to when I'm done the show here with you guys, the daughters and I are going up to the farm, and I am going to check the zero on the crossbow. I mean, I don't know if you consider that archery, Scott. A lot of people don't.
I do.
But and we're gonna just do some rifle shooting and some work around my dad's place there, and then when my bud, they're coming back home. My buddy John's coming up. We're going in the shack, and we see a muley or a whitetail comes by, and I got to put the stock on the muley. Let's get it, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, thrill to kill in archery is just as good to me as it is rifle.
Absolutely.
It's just the whole process of sitting there and being quiet and having patience is the number one problem with me in archery, Scott. I do not have patience for, like, you know, the patience of Job or whatever you want to say.
How about you, Jared? You archery guy? You just firearm only?
No. So I like archeries. I like bow. I really haven't bow hunted in many years. It's funny because now, for the last week here, I've been looking at getting a new bow and getting back into archery hunting and stuff. So
little bit more expensive than the last time, I bet.
I'm gonna take a whole second on your platform here to say North Dakota needs to legalize a crossbow season for everybody, or make it so you have an opportunity to use it outside of the gun season. That's my soapbox that I want to stand on your program.
Yeah, the archery, the equipment is just it is a lot more expensive than it used to be, and it seems like it's one thing that just continues to climb up there.
And the tech in it, you would think how much tech can you put into a bow, but the tech has gotten wild in archery too as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, crossbows have been around for 2,500 or 2,200 years or whatever, right, Scott?
Yep.
You know, I have that argument with people all the time. They're like, "Oh, it's like using a rifle." I'm like, you know, they should do like more.
It's not.
They always, I know the argument they come up with me is they're like, well, you know, the tradition of hunting with a stick and string. I'm like, you realize crossbows have been around for a long time. I mean,
thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands of years. So when you're talking history, I think that one's out the water. You know, but could they have, you know, and I know we go around with this, you know, well, then there's going to be too many tags, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be this. I still think, you know, if it's a legal form of hunting, let it be a legal form of hunting. Yeah, you know, I mean, this is what it gets me about the hunting industry, and I say this all the time when we have the same issue. Is you got the longbow guys they didn't want the compound bows. You know, the compound guys, they don't like the crossbows, and then you got the rifle hunters. You got the people that you know, the lever actions. They don't like the long range guys. The long range guys don't like these guys, and they don't like the ARs. It's like, just like Keith Warren said, just shut up and hunt.
So what do you guys think of this idea? I got a really doe tag, and I'm thinking about using my AR with just take the scope off and do some iron. Get her with the iron.
Absolutely.
Sight. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty confident at 200, and I know a 223 will smoke a deer at 200 easy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. You know, my first deer I ever took was with that 1903 Springfield. I had that flip up peep sight. And you know, guess the yardage and you dial it in, and I mean, it was just so exciting that way. But
you know, here's the thing with hunting and any gun for that matter. If you're someone who just target shoots and doesn't hunt or whatever it is, it's all about the comfortability of the gun to you. How comfortable are you with it? How, you know, because you're going to be way better of a shot with that gun. And at the end of the day, it's especially when hunting, you want a clean kill, right? You don't want that animal to suffer. So at the end of the day, you want something something that's going to be a clean clear. So if you're comfortable with an AR, if you're comfortable with a 300 Win Mag, yes, Scott, I was listening to your show a few weeks ago, and you were giving someone a little bit of grief for a 300 Win Mag for deer hunting, but if that's what you're comfortable with, that's what you got to do, man.
I agree. I have no problem with that, but I know that guy was comfortable with other rounds too. So
I know that guy was too.
But no, you're right. Whatever's comfortable, and we're getting closer to the end here of the show, but we can continue on the YouTube side. One thing too is the technology in the rifles and suppressors have made these bigger calibers like the 300 Win Mag. I mean, you can get one. There's no kick to it anymore. There's nothing there.
Nope, right.
And it makes it so much easier.
For my deer rifle, I've started using a 300 Win Mag just because while I reload, so I can make a little easier loads than you need. Not something that's going to take down a moose. Yeah. But with a suppressor, I mean, it's no different than shooting, a 270 or 243 or anything like that anymore. It's just as quiet as a 22. So
exactly,
it is amazing.
Jared, give us quick. How do people get in touch with you here this
beautiful
morning?
You can find us on Facebook, 701 Arms. You also can find us on our website, 701arms.com, and all our contact info is there if you decide you want to buy something from us.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming on the program, Jamie. We'll continue on the YouTube side here so I appreciate you guys spending a little Saturday with me. Thank you, guys.
You bet. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Scott.
All right. Make sure to catch my daily show on all these great radio stations each and every weekday here. You can find more information on that on your local radio station's website. Eat some meat, drink some milk, have yourself a great day, wear fur and wool, and support those farmers and ranchers out there. All right, stations, thank you. Give you guys a couple seconds. Make sure that their auto system takes me off there. All right, guys. Well,
all right.
I think we could have went for another hour easily talking about how to set up rifles for hunting for the newbies. I mean, that's one thing. I wish there was a better study both in the North or South Dakota. How many new hunters each year? Once they pass their hunter safety course, how many of these actually are going out and hunting? How many 12-year-olds applied in North Dakota, or 14-year-olds, or whatever the age bracket is? I don't have kids, so I'm not sure on that. But I wish we could have a little bit more information on that, just to see how many new hunters are coming in, and somehow how many people that have been getting licenses forever just stopped. I
can tell you, I got 2 new ones coming on this year, Scott. My nephew has got a buck tag, and my good friend of mine, his son's got any doe tag. So, and they're coming up after 3 weeks from yesterday, right? Youth Open, so they're coming up after football practice and with the camper and everything, and we're going to get after it. And hopefully that night we're enjoying the adults enjoying some beverages there on the fire afterward.
I think. I got a guy from Golden Valley area. I'm not sure what his name is. He's friends with Riley. He called me up, and his daughter, she's 16, got a doe antelope tag. And so we're going to meet up here. I think, was it next week or the week after or something like that? We're going to try to meet up. Awesome. I'm going to show him some different places where I feel are going to be very well. I said, it's easier if you come during the weekdays. She said, well, she's in school. Get her out of school.
Take a day or 2 out of school to do it.
All right, text comes when I always get in an argument about that. Usually someone who fishes, then you should have to get rid of all those fancy electronics. You have to get, if you want to get, yeah. I see what they're saying.
That's a big deal too. I mean, some states, I think Minnesota's one of them, is looking at getting rid of the live scopes for fishing
for tournaments.
I don't know. I don't know where they're at on that, but there is an advantage, but again, it's technology. Things just keep changing. It's no different than thermal scopes for predator hunting, So it's a big thing. But as far as youth getting into hunting and stuff, I mean, you look at, I'm 32 years old. So, it wasn't, I like to think it wasn't that long ago that I was going through hunter safety and learning how to hunt and all this, even though it was a little while ago. But we would have a hunter's education class down here in person, and the whole community center would be full of kids signing up to do it. And you know, in a lot of cases, a lot of communities are having a hard time filling those classes or even getting anyone to host those classes. So is it that kids aren't interested, or is it they're not the people there anymore that took the time to actually bring on that next generation of hunters? You know,
I have something to say about that, Jared. Okay, in this maybe is just over in this area. So my in-laws have been teaching hunter safety for 35 years, right?
Yep.
And completely free, right? They don't get paid to do this. I feel if the Game and Fish would either pay them, and I know they get like, if you're in there for 5 years, you get this. If you're in there for 30 years, you get a rifle. If you're in there for 35 years, it's like a free hunting, fishing for life or whatever.
Yeah.
But my father-in-law is 70 some years old. He ain't going to be, that free stuff doesn't matter anymore, right?
No.
I mean, so Jesse says no instructors, but this is why. So the Game and Fish department, I feel, should be able to either pay their game wardens or pay them something, give them something. Because in today,
I'm on board.
you know,
100%
in today's
Sam.
society, for my father and mother-in-law to drive into Bowman, it's an hour away. That's 2 hours every day for 3 days. I know they're doing some online stuff now, but you still got to do your practicals. But for some of these areas, and not all of them, but I think in some of the areas, the volunteer thing, we need to have something for these volunteers to make it worth their time. I really do. Like I told him, I said, locally here in the Bowman area, I said, I'll donate. I'll give you $500 to have a class. You know, but we can't take that. We can't take that.
Sponsor them, Scott.
What?
You can go to business. I guarantee you, they'll sponsor.
Absolutely, they would. Hands
Absolutely.
down. Now, Whalen says Hunter's Edge should be in class as the kids take it in school. So when I was in grade school, that's how I took it. They shut down, I can't remember what grades, but they shut down 3 grades, and it was 2 or 3 days with the sheriff, Ron Eli from Elgin, Carson area. He was my instructor, and it was in school. We took it. Now, it's not always about hunting. You know, hunter safety is about, you think about the kid in Minnesota that sees somebody dropped a pistol underneath a merry-go-round. Maybe they know how to handle it correctly to give it and take it to somebody, or they want to recognize, what is this, a mallard, or is this what, it's more to it than just hunting.
And here's the thing: in our neck of the woods, North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota, Minnesota, whatever it may be, hunting is so ingrained in the culture. You know, there's still schools out there for opening deer season.
Close up.
They take they take the day off. You know, I was never in a school that was lucky enough to do that. I don't know why, but considering everyone was gone that day, but there's a lot of schools that do that. And, you know, even if you are from a family that doesn't hunt, because even in a town like of 300 person, there are families that don't hunt here. It's not, they just don't, you know, and it's still so ingrained in the community, because even if you don't hunt, people ask about, you know, your deer stories and your hunting stories and all that. It's a safety thing. Like, if you can identify and maybe get a little bit of knowledge of why people hunt, which you learn in hunter safety, how to handle firearms, which you learn in hunter safety, it's good life lessons, right?
Yeah,
it's good things that people, that kids should know, that people should know in general. My wife comes from a family, they really didn't hunt. Her dad and stuff, and mom grew up on farms, and they hunted when they were younger. But by the time that she grew up, she's from the Minneapolis area. She when we got together, she was very interested in hunting and fishing and doing the things that we do, you know. And before she moved, I said, well, North Dakota, the classes get full of her hunter safety, because she had never taken it. Minnesota, once you're over 18, they have an option where you can do it as an online study once you're over the age of 18. And I said, make sure to get it before you change your residency, you know, because I said it's going to be a lot easier for you to do it there and get everything done there before she moved. And she was able to do that. And even she learned things on there that as an adult were useful to her.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think a lot of adults are scared to go in there because they're like, well, we got to take it with kids, you know, and you know, now with the online applications, I think that helps. But I don't know. I believe you still got to do your practicals in person.
Yeah.
So
and you know, the thing about it is,
got hers like a year and a half ago, Scott, here in Bismarck, and my friend's son took his to there too, and that class was absolutely packed at Game and Fish.
Yeah.
And it was
Yep.
you did everything online, and they went in there, and I think and did the whole test, and it was awesome. It was full. I was pretty surprised to see that, and the Game and Fish guys did a good job of teaching the class.
Yeah, I think if you have something close like that where you can actually use the Game and Fish facility, like in Dickinson, I'm not sure if they do that at their office there, but like out in these rural areas, there's no real office. We usually use like City Hall or something along those lines.
Back of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, back of the bar. I've seen that happen.
and the thing about it is, I think I truly believe that there are people my age, in their 30s or early 20s, that want to get into hunting, and they don't know where to start. You know what I mean? It's maybe they've got their hunter safety, maybe they hunted when they were younger. They've gotten to the point in their life where they, it's a whole nother thing with the seasons and stuff. Who would have thought that it would take, like 8 preference points to draw an antelope anymore? At one point in time, you could buy those over the counter. In my lifetime, before they close the seasons, you could go buy them over the counter. But it's one, a little harder to get tags for things that are outside of deer. And on the flip side, and I could get on a soapbox and talk about how I think there should be some less deer tags, seeing the populations of deer around in our units. But but at the end of the day, I think it's hard for even generations of my own to get back into it, or whether it be the land, whether it be the tags, whether it be just the cost of things. I mean, look at, like we talked about on air, look at the cost of what guns went up and ammo and all that over the pandemic. We're finally seeing that stuff level out, but it's an expense that with everything else in life gets in the way, right? You got to make sure that life doesn't get in the way of hunting. But, it creates a struggle, or creates a challenge, I guess, for some of these people who want to get into it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Jared, what's the number one chambering rifle you're selling there?
I've sold a lot of shotguns lately. Even that's what Scott bought a couple. But as far as rifles go, surprisingly enough, 6.5 Creedmoor, I thought that phase kind of went away. I thought that wasn't as popular as it was, but we've sold a handful of those in the few months that we've been rolling here. So I kind of thought that phase was gone. Personally, there's a lot of cool chambers out there right now. I'm a big proponent of the 7 PRC. But I got a buddy of mine, he's an avid hunter. All over the place, goes and hunts, and he's been looking into that 7mm backcountry, which is kind of improved. So there's a lot of neat stuff out there right now, and I thought that the phase of the 6.5 Creedmoor was over, but apparently it's not, at least not around here.
So there's a lot of, I don't see a lot of man buns around. They claim you got a man bun, one, but my hair will never have one, and it's too short.
The worst part about it is when
you realize I'm in control of the buttons here. You realize that, right?
When the 6.5 Creedmoor came out, I read up on it, or like when it first became popular. It was right before the run on it, where everybody was trying to get one. I wanted one. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. We'll get one of those and try it out, because I'm one of those people that's, it's like a lollipop. You got to have one in every flavor. So I went and got myself one right when they were new. And I used it that first year to deer hunt, and I just don't know. I was using factory loads, and I went and I ended up popping one of the biggest bucks I've ever shot 4 times, and I still had to run back to the truck and grab my 270. Yeah, I was not happy. After that, I was done with it. The next year, I literally went to my wife. I go, "This is your deer rifle now," because obviously I had some money into it and all that, and I had it set up the way that I like to go. Your deer rifle, she had a doe tag. We were at 250 yards. Boom, deer just plopped over. Same kind of. I'm like, apparently I'm just terrible. They were all kill shots. That's the thing. Like, they all should have been kill shots. When we cut it open,
I mean, I've seen them walk away with 7mm mag. So I've never had a problem with 6.5.
Where she's at 250, 300 yards, pops it. The thing just keels over, like not even death wobble. Is right over. I'm like, well, apparently that gun's yours now. That's your hunting rifle. You get to use it. And that was, a few years ago already. And she has been very successful with that gun. And I've got no use for it. Like, all these guys are like, because obviously I reload, I'm like, well, reload it like this and make this, and I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm like, I'll just stick to my 270 or my 300 Win Mag, or hell, I'll pull out a 30-06 before I'm going back to the 6.5 Creedmoor. Yeah.
Well, nothing wrong with the 270. I'm a 308 and a 6.5 Creed guy, and I have zero problems taking a deer with a 223 inside of 200 yards either. So.
Yep. All right,
guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I got to get rolling here. But Scott, thanks for having me on. Jared,
I got to get rolling too. All right, Jared, thank you. JD, thank you. Appreciate you guys.
You bet.
Yeah, have a great week, guys. Bye.
You bet. See ya.
You too.
Just when our Game and Fish messed up and sent 2 tags any other landowners, I got drawn on the lottery, and they also sent me a gratis tag. Now they want me to choose one. Take the lottery tag, because then you can go anywhere in the unit. If you just do gratis tag, you got to stay on your own stuff. And that's my take the lottery tag, hands down. Okay. And if they messed up, but definitely take the lottery tag so you have more options of spreading out and hunting different areas, man. But yeah, good for you. Congratulations on that. Everybody else have a good one. I'm going to go try to haul some hay today. Have a good one.